Hello, and welcome to the Nature Journal Connection. I'm your host, John Muir Laws, and today we form a sense of place. We're going to be using a collection of our nature journaling skills to help us focus in at the little details around us and also pick up some of the big picture ecosystem processes that are going on around us. We're going to capture all that information in our journal. And that's going to help us be able to notice and be present and pay attention to what's special about this particular spot on the planet. It all starts with a treasure hunt. Begin by just exploring your area. Keep an eye out on the ground for treasures. If you see anything that catches your eye, something that is peculiar, interesting, perhaps something that is special to this place, pick it up, carry it with you, and as you walk, you're going to fill your hands with just a collection of found objects. When you come back, your hands are going to be filled with treasure. So I found several really interesting objects. This is a piece of a decomposed log, and the log is decomposing into little cubes. The whole log was in tiny little cubes. So there's something really interesting there about the way that log was breaking down. So I've got my little log cube. I found a cone of a lodgepole pine that's been chewed on by a squirrel. It's a little cob. This is a gorgeous color. Look at that. That's wolf lichen. This is a lichen that only grows high in the trees. It doesn't survive below where the snowpack is, and this is an area with deep snow. So about 4 meters up the trees here, this lichen starts to grow on the trunk and the branches. And as you look around, you'll be able to sort of see the trim line of those, and that's the level of where the snowpack usually is. Well, this chunk has fallen down from up there, and I might be able to include that in my journal. Got a gorgeous cone from a western white pine, and a feather of a Steller's jay. It's one of the inhabitants of the forest that I've been hearing as I've been exploring around here today. A couple of other treasures that I couldn't bring with me. I found some mistletoe growing on a young red fir, and I also found a little wintergreen, still with the flowers on it, and any of those might end up in my journal. I'm going to pick probably 3 of them. I can't do them all, but I'm going to pick just a handful of these. I'm going to recommend you start with the idea of trying to just get 3 of these recorded in your journal. And you're going to use your words, your pictures, and your numbers to richly describe them as best that you can. As you do this, remember that in addition to making our observations, we're also asking questions about the place we're in. And if there's any that reminds me of that kind of come to you, like, this kind of reminds me of puzzles. It reminds me of Legos. It reminds me of Rubik's cubes. So this kind of gets my head in this gaming frame of mind. Perhaps a little dice, a die. Whatever comes to you, we're going to record that down in our journal. And that gives us the sense of these kind of close-up things. But to get a real sense of place, we also want to take in the larger environment that we're in. And so find some place on your page, leave sort of a bare spot of the page. And there you can either do a little landscape sketch of here's the environment that I'm in and here's my drawing of this place. You can make that a labeled drawing to make it even more interesting. Or you can make a diagram. Here's the shape of the ground. Here are these sorts of trees coming up. These are the small ones below them. Look, in this one here, this is where I found the mistletoe. So you can make a little diagram where you can do a sort of a sketch. Don't make those too big, or the process of like, oh, I have to make a landscape drawing starts to feel overwhelming. So keep those on the smaller side. And then on your page, you're going to have this collection of found objects diagrams, landscape sketches, and you're going to collage those together. Something that's fun to do is on these, don't just sort of put one here and one here and one here on your page, but overlap some of these drawings so that I've got this drawing here and that's partially overlapping this one here and partially overlapping here. You can have a lot of fun and be playful with placing them on your page that way. Let's give it a try and see what we get. By combining my treasures from the forest floor, here my Steller's jay feather, my rotting cube of wood, the mistletoe growing on a live branch of a sapling, and the little wintergreen plant, still in fruit on the forest floor. Combining these with a little diagram of the side view of the forest. So here are my large fir trees. There's me for scale. Tiny little me. Big trees, little me. A few little notes about the fallen branches and logs, the red fir saplings growing, and where the wolf lichen starts on these trees. These elements combined are a really rich picture of this ecosystem and will help me observe it and remember it forever. Your nature journaling challenge this week is to use these techniques to develop and capture a sense of place about a special location near you. Begin with a scavenger hunt and make a collection of your greatest discoveries on the forest floor or the edge of the beach. Then, arrange those in a collage on your page, perhaps 3, perhaps 4 of your favorite ones that really tell a tale about that place. That gets you looking down. Now it's time to look up. Include a diagram or a landscape sketch of the place that you're in, the big picture view. That big picture view, combined with those details on the page, is a wonderful way to investigate and remember. And until next time, this is your Nature Journal Connection.